Hello and welcome to the Solar Decathlon Design Challenge webinar series. Today we are doing showcasing your project in the semifinals. My name is Rachel Romero and I am your Design Challenge Competition Manager. And with me I have Taylor Ryan, the Assistant Competition Manager.
Hi everyone.
All right, let's dive right in. So now we have a current division distribution of teams. So you can see on this slide, the teams are distributed through the divisions. You are not required to finalize your division selection until the semifinal submission. So if this chart influences that selection, feel free to change your project up until that February submission date. For the competition timeline, we're kind of through the first portion of the competition and into the second. In January, we will have some updated design challenge rules. These will be released with a short description of what has changed. Teams can expect mostly small changes in terms of clarifications and small updates. In February, semifinal submissions are due. This includes an updated project summary, your semifinal submission presentation and slides, and your building science education completion, which we'll talk about shortly. Moving into February, we have our semifinal competition event, which will take place virtually February 24th and 25th. And then we will move into April, where the final submission is due, followed quickly by your presentation slides. And then we will finish out the competition April 20th through 23rd, both virtually and in person at NREL. For the semifinal competition event, this is a virtual event to select our finalist teams. All teams have the opportunity to present to the jurors, where you'll receive really valuable feedback on your project and have an opportunity to hear what your peers are working on, as well as connect with our industry leaders and jurors. So this is February 24th and 25th, and we look forward to seeing the teams at that time. The semifinal competition event will run February 24th and 25th. It's mostly semifinal division presentations, and then we'll conclude with a short finalist announcements. To participate in this, each team will need to sign up for one 2-hour time block or less. So it may be a 90-minute time block that you sign up for, but you will get a 15-minute presentation slot within that time block. You have an 8-minute presentation followed by a short Q&A, and we will transition to the next team. So you'll pick a time block. Let's say you pick the Friday from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You may have a 1:45 presentation. We will slot you in that. So please make sure your team is available for that entire block. All right. So in the semifinal submission, you are going to have an updated project summary. It's really important that you focus on that and have a good, concise description in your project summary. You'll have 8-minute presentation slides, which we'll talk about shortly. You'll also have your faculty either attest to equivalent curriculum for building science education, or that your team has completed all the courses of the Solar Decathlon building science education. And then this is the time at which you will select, or your team will select, your final division. So the semifinal submission informs the selection of finalist teams. So our jurors are going to select finalist teams at this point. So what you need to provide in your presentation slides is a concise description of the project and target market. Make sure all of your points are leading to how your project is relevant to the competition goals, and that you're highlighting key project data. You'll also include a plan for finishing your design or project. So what are you going to do between February and April 4th? How are you going to get to a complete project? Do you have energy modeling to finish? Do you need to meet with an industry partner for reviews? How are you going to get to also the final competition event? What are your plans to get your team's project complete in time for that? Okay, so what teams will do is you need to submit your semifinal submission via the project site first. Once you do that, then you will get your presentation slot and you'll present to the panel of industry expert jurors within your division. The jurors will select up to 10 finalist teams per division. And then the finalists will compete at the April competition event. So jurors are looking for criteria that is listed in the rules. They will evaluate teams based on how effective your project summary is at conveying kind of the key points. They're going to be looking very clearly for your design goals and a discussion of your target market, including who are your building occupants and how do all of those things impact your design. They'll be looking for a discussion of building science considerations for your local climate and understanding what building codes are in your location or standards that you plan to apply to this project. And then again, what is your plan for submitting? They will also look for compliance with the rules. Does your division fit within compliance? Do your project deliverables meet compliance with the rules? That helps jurors really select teams that are going to be successful at the final competition event. And with that, I'll turn it over to Taylor, my assistant competition manager.
Thank you, Rachel. So we wanted to share some best practices for the semifinal presentation. And this should fall under the guiding question for teams. How would you pitch your project to a client? And bearing in mind that this is, again, an 8-minute presentation, so it is a short time frame to convey the key points of your project and really sell your project to jurors. And with that, we have some best practices here. So teams, we encourage you to highlight unique elements of your project. And again, outline a realistic timeline for finishing your design as part of the final submission. And finally, make sure to practice with your team. 8 minutes is a short time frame, so you want to make sure that you're including the most important details and what you want to tell jurors in that short time frame. As Rachel mentioned, we will select finalist teams at the semifinal competition event. There will be up to 10 finalists across each of the 6 divisions, so up to 60 finalist teams total. And finalist teams are invited to compete in person or virtually at the Solar Decathlon competition event, April 20th through the 23rd, 2023. And with that, you can have on a finalist team up to 5 students and 1 faculty attend the competition event in person at NREL. However, all students are invited to virtually attend the competition event, and you can have a combination of both in-person and virtual presenters during your division presentation at the competition event. So all your student presenters do not need to attend in person. Again, you can have a combination of virtual and in-person presenters there. And finalist teams are eligible at the competition event for division winner and grand winner awards. And then the organizers also encourage all teams to complete the final submission deliverables regardless of finalist status. And this will be called an exhibition team. This is part of the rules, and something that we encourage all teams to do is complete the work on the design project, even if your team is not selected as a finalist at the semifinal competition event. So exhibition teams will present to a separate jury during the competition event for feedback. They are not eligible for division winner or grand winner awards, but you'll still have that opportunity to present to a jury and get real world industry feedback on your design projects. And new this year, we are inviting up to one student and one faculty from each exhibition team to attend the competition event in person at NREL. And similar to finalist teams, all students can attend the competition event virtually. And really the benefits of being an exhibition team and finishing your design project, even if you're not selected as a finalist in the design challenge, is to have this opportunity to learn from other teams during the competition event. You'll finish a project that is professional and can be included in your portfolio and really increases your career-ready skills. And lastly, but not least, you'll still have the opportunity to come to NREL just with a smaller team. And so in support of preparing your semifinal submission, we have some helpful resources on the project site under the quick links. So we do have deliverable templates and examples. You can see the project summary template and example under the quick links now, if you log in and look on the left-hand side of the project site. Teams are not required to use these templates, but they do serve as a helpful roadmap in organizing information for the project summary, as it's only 2 pages. And other helpful quick links that are available on the project site right now, we do have winning submissions from the 2022 Design Challenge, and we encourage all teams to look at what past successful projects have looked like in the Design Challenge. What key points did the past successful teams include in their submissions, and how can you also create your submissions to be successful as past winners have done in the Design Challenge? And we also wanted to talk about the project summary feedback. So the project summary, the preliminary version of that was an optional deliverable due on December 6th. And for teams who did submit the project summary, we are providing feedback on formatting and division compliance. That feedback is available now on the project site. If you log in and scroll to the bottom of the homepage, you'll see several bullet points of feedback from the organizers on that preliminary project summary submission. And we noticed on our team going through the different team submissions for the project summary, there were some major themes of feedback that emerged. The first is to adhere to formatting requirements. So please refer to the rules on both the formatting and content requirements for any deliverables, and make sure that you're staying within that 2-page maximum for the project summary. And also justifying why your design goals were picked and how your goals address the specific needs of your target market and site is something that we encourage all teams to do in future submissions. Something else that we noticed in the project highlights section with the contest narratives for each of the contests is making sure that you're conveying the relevant design strategies for each of those contests. So looking at the rules and looking at the contest intent and criteria in that section of the rules is super important as you begin to work on your next iteration of the project summary. And for any future submissions, making sure that your team is balancing the use of text and images to highlight key project data, and make sure that someone can easily read your 2-page project summary and find the high-level points that they need to find about your project, and also make it enjoyable for them to read. And last but not least, please make sure that your team is reading the rules before, during, and after drafting any deliverables, and referring to those formatting and content requirements as you prepare future submissions. So we have some important upcoming dates in the competition. Our next office hours session will be held on February 7th, 2023 at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Similar to previous office hours sessions, this is a 1-hour time block where we have no agenda, and we encourage you to come with your questions. So the organizers will be there ready to answer any questions that you have about the competition at that point in time. And then following office hours, our next deliverable due is the semifinal submission on February 21st by 5 o'clock Eastern time. There will be no late submissions accepted after that 5 o'clock Eastern deadline. So please make sure that you've logged into the project site before then and you are able to submit the semifinal submission on time. And finally, right after the semifinal submission is due, we will have our semifinal competition event on Friday, February 24th and Saturday, February 25th from 12 to 5 on Friday and 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. And finally, we wanted to thank our Solar Decathlon sponsors. Thank you for your generous support of the competition, and they really help us ensure that the students in Solar Decathlon and Design Challenge have an amazing competition experience. So thank you to all the organizations shown on the screen, and a special thanks to our steward level sponsor Allegiance for their generous support of Solar Decathlon. And thank you for tuning in to the semifinal submission webinar. If you do have any questions, please send those to sddesign@nrel.gov or solardecathlon@nrel.gov, and the organizer team will get back to you. So thank you.
Thank you.